More bad news. A.J. Brown out 3 weeks, getting placed on IR. This news breaking today. Titans placed wide receiver A.J. Brown chest on injured reserve. Brown was already ruled out for Sunday. He'll now miss at least 2 more games before being eligible to return. Not good news. A lot of people count on A.J. Brown. Been a very disappointing season. This is why we've been talking about trading him. And you guys need to make sure you're watching each and every one of the buy low, sell high videos, the panic chamber episodes. 2 players that have been on the buy low, sell high videos as the sells. Zeke Elliott, for 3 weeks now, I've been saying sell Zeke Elliott and do it now. For 3 weeks. And now Zeke Elliott's looking at potentially missing time. A.J. Brown, we talked about getting rid of A.J. Brown because we love his talent, but the knee issues, the offense, there have been a lot of concerns, injury concerns for him. Now he's out 3 weeks, and if you didn't get rid of him, unfortunately, you're probably stuck with him for the rest of the year. This is an injury plague season, and we're going to break down some of the potential moves you might have left, some tricks you might be able to pull off heading into the final stretch leading into your playoffs. We're going to break it all down. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty! Take a lap. What's up, everyone? Bad news, A.J. Brown out 3 weeks. What are we going to do? What are you going to do from here? Who do you have lined up? Do you pick up Nick Westbrook, who I believe is going to be the main, I guess, player to benefit from the target shares that are now available? Nick Westbrook. You've got Dez Fitzpatrick. But I think Nick Westbrook is probably the best option if you're in need of a wide receiver. Grab this guy. Put him on your bench. Maybe you even have to use him this week, but Nick Westbrook is a very, very good plug and play, at least for now, until you figure out what's going on. The writing was on the wall, Joel. That's why I try and beat the drum as loud as I can. When I fear a player heading toward the injury side of things, when I feel like Zeke Elliott needs to be traded, I'm sorry, I come out and I beat a dead horse on it for weeks. When I come out and say trade A.J. Brown, I'm saying it for a reason. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could. But in almost every case where I tell someone to trade someone away, my main objective is to have you trading said A.J. Brown, trading said Zeke Elliott. And in the case of Christian McCaffrey, I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey is a player we have to trade right now. At all. And I get people that come in and they say constantly, this guy's saying to trade Christian McCaffrey. Oh my God, Smitty says trade Christian McCaffrey. Smitty doesn't like Christian McCaffrey. Not true. What I try and tell everybody is you either trade and you make a move with Christian McCaffrey where you win no matter what happens. If you make a trade where you get 2 players, 2 components that make you plenty happy, even if McCaffrey balls out, you win. So I'm not saying trade McCaffrey, and McCaffrey's not necessarily next up to get hurt. He's just somebody that I really fear that if you don't take advantage of getting if you have an opportunity sitting right in front of you where you can get Justin Jefferson and a running back, and either way, McCaffrey balls out or doesn't, you make out on the trade. I'm just saying explore those options if your trade deadline is approaching and you have an opportunity right in front of your face and you're thinking very narrowly about it and you're saying can't trade McCaffrey. If you're just saying that, you're not listening. It's trade McCaffrey if the price is right or hold him. A.J. Brown out 3 weeks. What do you do? Hit me with your dilemmas. Nick Westbrook needs to be grabbed. Tony Pollard looking like his stock is going sky high. We'll see. The Dallas Cowboys may not rest Zeke Elliott. They may not rest him, but there's a potential that they could sit him in week number 13 and try and get him healthy for the playoffs. Maybe they sit him for weeks 13 and 14. Maybe they don't sit him at all. Maybe they dial back his usage a ton, diluting the value of both Pollard and Zeke Elliott going forward. That's a potential an unfortunate scenario that could unfold, where you have them saying, well, we're not going to take him out of play, but we're certainly going to limit him. And you got Pollard producing slightly better numbers than Zeke each week, but neither is going crazy. And then, boom, you have two depleted, unsuccessful, very, very hard to start players. I hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that if Zeke Elliott is hampered, they just sit him for a couple weeks, get him healthy, let Tony Pollard show his stuff, because this dude is electric, elite, top 6 to 10 running back per start if he's getting starter volume. And I don't want a hurt Zeke Elliott out there. Number one, like I said, it hurts both Pollard and Elliott if Elliott's out there taking half the work and doing badly. And you're left literally the first week or two, if that's the case, where you're not putting Elliott on the bench and you're starting the lesser running back. Because right now Pollard is better than Zeke Elliott at this point in Zeke Elliott's career. It wasn't that way in week 1. It was borderline. But the mileage adds up quick. It piles up quick. We started seeing about 3 weeks ago that Elliott's production was going down. His volume was going down. He's falling into the end zone. There was a good sell high opportunity. Many took advantage of it. Many didn't. But Elliott's definitely on the decline. Now, I don't think he retires. I don't think his contract is as such. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think his contract is as such that they would cut him or anything and could save. We're probably looking at a Zeke Elliott Pollard backfield in 2022. Assuming something crazy doesn't unfold or happen. But, and somebody let me know if I'm wrong on the contract there, if there would be a benefit to cutting him. But Zeke Elliott is just going to be either the downfall of many people's fantasy season going forward, or if you own Pollard and Zeke hits the bench for a couple weeks, Pollard could save you. So either Pollard's going to save people, or Zeke's going to take probably people down. What's up, Jacob? What's up, Evan? What's up, Giancarlo? What's up, Broly? Keith? Gary? Swaggy? James Devlin needs extreme help as usual. Could I trade Jacobs and Higgins for a flex? I mean, sure. Trade Jacobs for Higgins, or Jacobs and Higgins for a flex. I don't know what running back you could go after, but certainly I'm sure that could get you somebody. Elgin says CMC off limits. Elgin, that just depends on the offer. This is no offense, Elgin. You're my boy Blue, but this is the response a lot of people give me when I talk about entertain a Christian McCaffrey trade offer. He's off limits. Not trading him. RB1. Not going to happen. Not getting rid of McCaffrey. Like, you gotta know the circumstances, Elgin. You might have to trade him if someone comes to you with an offer that you can't refuse. An offer that gives you 2 players that can literally, if all goes well for McCaffrey, be an even wash, and you get rid of the risk of McCaffrey going down, which is still there. He has had mileage galore. This is similar to the Elliott situation. Now, the problem is, with Elliott, you can see the decline. McCaffrey, you can't, but the injuries have been piling up. And it's not, I would say, it is reckless to assume that McCaffrey's injury problems are behind him. It's also reckless to trade McCaffrey away at all if you're not getting the amount of talent back that makes you sleep like a baby at night, regardless of what Christian McCaffrey does. So Elgin, it's not off limits, Elgin. You can't use nostalgia and say I can't trade Christian McCaffrey. You can trade anybody if you get enough talent back that makes it worth it, regardless of what happens. Like you get a Justin Jefferson and an Aaron Jones and let's say you already have Dylan. That might be something you could consider, bro. If you've been waiting on McCaffrey all season long, you're barely going to make the playoffs if you get lucky and everything goes as planned. If you're in that situation, you've got to trade him with a bye week coming up when you're almost going to get knocked out of the playoff race if you lose during his bye week because he's such a big part of your scoring outcome, bro. It all depends on what's going on with your team. Everything is scenario specific. Elgin, I'm not going at you. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people say. You can't trade him. Why would you trade him? You can't trade him. Why would you? It's all specific to your situations. Everything. Who's Julio? I agree. Who is Julio Jones? Who is Julio Jones? Eckler top 1 rest of season, says Gary. Look, Eckler, with the way injuries are hitting fantasy football, with the way Eckler's playing, I feel like Eckler's probably, if I had to suggest a safe range to rank him moving forward, I would probably say Eckler. You go JT, you go Najee, you go CMC, with the open-mindedness of if the right offer comes along, you take it because there's a lot of injury risk. There is. I don't care if he's been back and not gotten hurt yet. There's injury risk. His mileage and usage is so crazy. You entertain offers if they come with Christian McCaffrey. But Eckler's right below him. Like I put Eckler at that running back 4 spot. Nothing wrong with that at all. I put Eckler at the running back 4 spot. I probably put. Let's go over the rankings. Let's rank the top running backs right now. I know we did this already, but why not do it again? Everything changes so quickly. So quickly. Rest of season running back ranks. 1, JT. 2, Najee. 3, CMC. 4, Austin Eckler. You could argue Cook. 5, I would put Cook. This point, it gets really cloudy. Is it Nick Chubb? Does somebody think Kamara's going to be back? We don't know. This is where it gets awfully dicey because you have Kamara, question mark. You have Swift, question mark. Probably Nick Chubb feels the most secure at this point because of the questions around these two guys. Injured, but probably going to be okay. We have no idea what's going on with him. Elliott's off the board. Barkley, you can't see that. Let me write that up here. Barkley, injury risk. One second. Sorry about that. Emergency at the front door. Where do you rank? Let's see where you guys are saying Mixon. I could go with Mixon there. Let's go back to the board. Chubb, Mixon. I could go Mixon there. It's tough. Once JT, Najee, McCaffrey, Eckler, Cook, Chubb are off the board, Barkley, Mixon, Kamara, Swift. It's a mixed bag of injuries and concern. Darrell Henderson, no. Elliott, no. Mixon seems safer than I'd put Chubb and Mixon as the safest running backs go forward. It's a mess, man. It's an absolute mess. Fantasy football, running backs are going to be the biggest, hottest topic entering 2022 fantasy football. Where do you draft them? Do you go wide receiver, wide receiver? I'm going to be a big proponent of wide receiver in 2022. You're going to see a bunch of content come from me in the coming weeks and months that is so running back. I don't want to say running back averse, but it's going to be just wide receiver heavy content. It doesn't mean I wouldn't take JT at 1. Of course I would. Doesn't mean I'm not going to take Najee Harris at 2. Doesn't mean I wouldn't entertain McCaffrey if he finished this season completely on a tear. Of course. Doesn't mean I wouldn't take Eckler, Gary, at number 4 or 5. Or if he fell to 5 or 6, would I take Eckler? Of course. But if I'm drafting 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I'm not forcing running back because it's what everybody does. We take running backs. You have to take a running back. If you don't take a running back in the first round, you're going to lose. Guess what? You can't trust running backs. Right now, everything's a cycle. Running backs will return to domination in the first round in coming years. But maybe 2022, you see 3 or 4 wide receivers get entertained instead of 1 or 2. Used to be 1 or 2. It was Adams, and last year was weird because you had Adams with the whole Aaron Rodgers situation. Adams getting removed from the first round, and that made everybody say, well, Adams is the number 1 wide receiver. So I guess we have no wide receivers in round 1. You were hard pressed to see a wide receiver go in round 1 during that whole phase where Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams was removed from the first round. You had a whole slew of weeks of mock drafting where you were hard pressed to see a wide receiver get drafted in the top 12 because if Adams was out, no one deserved to be a first round wide receiver. That was people's mentality. I firmly believe that 2022 is going to be 3, 4 wide receivers in the top 12 or 13 overall. It's going to be a different season. And I don't necessarily mean that I'm taking a wide receiver. So if we go back to the board, let's say we're mock drafting 2022. I'm not necessarily going to take round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. I'm not necessarily going to take my wide receivers like this. I might trade down. I'm going to be a big proponent of trading out of the first round, getting 2 second rounders. You have your third, you have your fourth. You're trading a 6th or 7th to do something. You're trading your first rounder to get somebody's, let's say, second and third. So I'm going to have something along the lines of this on the regular. 2 seconds, 2 thirds, a 4th, probably still my 5th, right? Because if I traded my first rounder for a 2nd and a 3rd, I'm not giving up a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th. I'm going to take full advantage of getting rid of a first round pick and getting 2 picks essentially. I'm not going to be trying to do some even Steven type trade. I'll want to have 2 picks here, 2 picks here, a pick here, a pick here. I'm probably getting rid of something along the lines of here to make that swap where I'm getting the first rounder, getting the 2nd and the 3rd. Then I'm not stopping there. I'll trade my 5th rounder to move, let's say, this 4th or this 3rd. Let's say to move this 3rd into the top of the 2nd. So now I'm going to have 3 seconds, 1 3rd, and a 4th. No 5th rounder. Maybe I don't have a 6th rounder. Who knows? But this is going to afford me to go in a direction where I'm drafting Jefferson, Chase, and Diggs as my first 3 players, and then maybe I take a running back here. Maybe I take 2 running backs with my next 2 picks. Maybe I'm taking a rookie running back with one of these picks, and maybe this is like a Monty or whoever. Who knows who that running back's going to be, but I'm starting my draft off that way. That's the way I'm going to probably roll in 2022. Not every case, but it's going to be a big part of the content. Cameron with the super chat. Cameron, appreciate you. Thanks for waiting patiently as I ranted during a... Whoops.
Time for a Smitty rant.
I was definitely ranting. Apologize for that. Cameron, Overcome with a super chat. Overcome, appreciate you, good buddy. Overcome says, dude, do I pick up Bateman, Westbrook, Van Jefferson, Myers, or Landry, MJJ? Probably going to say Bateman feels maybe safest. I like Westbrook a lot, but he's more of a play later. Like if you needed another wide receiver, like a more of a final bench guy. I would say this right here, you're talking about a potential wide receiver 3-4. Bateman kind of fits the bill for that. I think Van Jefferson might, but I'd say Bateman feels probably the safest of this group. But I don't mind Van Jefferson. I don't mind Westbrook. I like all those guys. So appreciate you, Overcome, for the super chat. Cameron with a super chat. Cameron says, I just traded AJB. Let's go. Traded Herbert, Zeke, AJB for Dak, Cook, and Hollywood. A fantastic trade. You got rid of the 2 guys I've been telling you to trade on the as high as you can, in Zeke and AJ Brown, and both of them, Cameron, both of them are probably looking at missing time. So fantastic timing. That's why we do these emergency live streams, Cameron. The previous ones, it's the moves that you've made here that we're trying to set up right now for other people. And the information coming in to try and do what you did, but weeks ago. Preparation, trying to get ready to move AJ Brown and Zeke while you still can. Cameron, that's how you do it. Nice job, bro. I love AJ Brown too. Like, I'm not excited about AJ Brown going down. I was not happy about trying to be honest and saying get rid of him. Like, I do a live with AJ Brown every offseason. I go on his live and we talk fantasy football for a brief second. Done it 2 years in a row. I love AJ Brown. I'm going to love AJ Brown next year, but at what price? I don't know. Will he get healthy? Will he tear it up down the stretch and make me feel ultra confident that I can draft him in a certain range next year that doesn't feel risky? I don't know. But I'm certainly not excited about his prospects this year. I'm certainly not excited about what he's given me. In one league, I traded a lot for AJ Brown. So it's not like I haven't liked him. It's not like I haven't made mistakes with AJ Brown in attaining him and not being able to trade him away. I have him in a league where I couldn't get rid of him too. Like, just because I say you should have got rid of him, we've been talking about it. In some cases you can't. In some cases people don't trade. In some cases your trade deadline already came. It came too quickly. You couldn't get rid of him. People are nervous about trading players that are banged up. He was banged up last week. It's not your fault if you couldn't get rid of him. So I'm not trying to say in here everybody should have got rid of him. I have him in one league where I couldn't get rid of him. It happens. Lewis says, Smitty, do you think NH Najee Harris, Lewis, Nyheim Hines? Last night he put NH, we're like, you got to be more clear, and he wrote Najee. Najee is a risk of injury. He is a risk. Najee has rookie wall syndrome potentially approaching. The question is, will Najee push through it? He will potentially hit a rookie wall. Rookie walls can be very short. They can be They cannot entail injury. They can sometimes just be 1 or 2 weeks of kind of a nothing burger, just a mediocre performance. Rookie gets tired. They're used to college seasons. This is not only longer season, it's a game longer than any NFL player's ever played. So it's an extra long season now. It's been upgraded. It's been supersized. Now he's got to go not just to week 16 or 17, depending on if they play him. He's now got to go to week 17 or 18. It's an extra game. It's super long. It's practically double what he's used to. And Najee Harris could potentially slow down. But I don't know that I'm scared of Najee hitting a little rookie wall. I feel like he's a special player used in a special way that has a great attitude, a good work ethic, a good skill set, a PPR mindset, the ability to dominate and not get game scripted out because Najee can catch the ball as well as he can throw the ball or run the ball. Maybe he throws the ball. Maybe when he hits the rookie wall, he starts throwing the football. I don't know. Najee is not a guy I'm trading away. I'm going out of my way to trade him away. I'm not. I'm holding him. The right offer comes along, I'll trade anybody. I don't care if it's Cooper Kupp. I don't care if it's JT. I don't care if it's Christian McCaffrey. The question you got to ask yourself, is the offer enough? It doesn't matter who the player is. Anybody that says, I won't trade JT, that is a closed-minded approach to fantasy football management. The odds are you're not going to give me an offer I'm going to accept. There's probably not an offer you're going to send my way that's going to have me trade JT. Plain and simple. But if you say I will not trade JT no matter what, or I will not trade Christian McCaffrey no matter what, or I will not trade Najee Harris no matter what, that is a very closed-minded fantasy football management approach. It is. It's like somebody that's not that they draft a player from their favorite team. That's a similar parallel. If that's the approach you're taking, you've got to take in what you're being offered, weigh it all out. Does your team improve? And for the most part, you don't need to go looking for a trade and forcing a trade if things aren't broken. If you've got Cooper Kupp and you're tearing it up, you've got 9 wins. You don't need to make a trade. If the right trade came in, you should accept it. You should accept it if the right trade comes along, but you don't necessarily need to panic to make a move and make a change if you're winning. But it doesn't mean you don't make trades because you're winning. If somebody offers you a $20 bill for a $10 bill, you're going to take the $20 bill. Doesn't matter if you're doing good, things are great. I've got $10, I'm fine. You take the $20 bill. It's logical. So enough with the I won't trade so and so. Of course I would trade him. Do I trade Najee? He qualifies as a player I'm not too concerned about. I'm not freaking out about. There is a potential rookie wall coming for sure. But I think he's going to push through it. Injuries a little. He's getting worked a ton. But I'm taking the risk. You've got week 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 7 weeks left. I'm going to bank on Najee being good to go and being a monster. West Side, thank you for the super chat. Caleb, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate you. Let's go to West Side. West Side says, currently have Zeke, but I have Henderson Jr. and Fournette. Do I get Pollard or play one of them? Also have A.J. Brown, but Hopkins owner won't give him up. That's brutal. That's brutal. Zeke, and you don't have Pollard, and you have A.J. Brown. That's tough. Depends what Pollard's going to cost you. If you tell me he's on waivers, I swear I'm going to hit this take a lap button 5 times in a row. West Side, don't tell me I can get Pollard, he's on waivers, or I will punch this take a lap button over and over and over for the remainder of the show. If you're talking about trade, what is it that you're thinking of giving up? What potential ideas do you have in mind? A.J. Brown, you're not going to be able to trade A.J. Brown anymore. Trading A.J. Brown was in the past. He's going to be out for 3 weeks. No one's going to touch him. No one's going to trade him. The only person in the world, it better not be on waivers. Tony Pollard, he better not be on waivers. Do I get Pollard or play one of them? He better not be on. Westside, maybe you want to take a lap. There's nothing wrong with taking a lap. It's healthy for you. But I hope to God you're not telling me he's sitting on waivers. This is like we talked about earlier, last night, where we said, oh, I was thinking about picking up Tony Pollard, but maybe I'll go and take the trash out real quick. Maybe I'll take the trash out, and then when I come back, then maybe I'll consider picking up Pollard. As if you should be waiting a moment at all, even a split second. You should just be letting him sit out there on waivers, just floating like he's in a raft, just ready to be plucked by anybody. Just Tony Pollard kicking back on the waiver wire, hands behind his head, floating on the lake, floating on the river, just waiting for someone to grab him. He's free. He's sitting right there. Tell me, Westside, he's not on waivers, please. Or maybe I'll make a sandwich. Maybe I'll go make a sandwich. Westside, I'm just messing with you. I hope you're being a good sport about it. I'll go make a sandwich. Maybe get a bite. Might watch a little bit of the Netflix. Then come back, contemplate whether I'm going to pluck Pollard off the waiver wire and save my season. Maybe go to Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot. I don't know if we'll have time. Then I'll come back and I'll take Tony Pollard, who's sitting there on waivers. And no, who do I drop though? Maybe I'll ask Smitty tonight at midnight during the live stream. I'll wait. He's not. Owner wants Fournette. Let me just keep going with it, Westside. I'll wait. I'll go live with Smitty later on tonight and ask him, should I take Pollard? Westside, the reason I'm kind of going at this is because last night it happened. Somebody's like, should I pick up Pollard? Who should I drop for Pollard? I'm like, I don't care. You need to grab Pollard now. What are you doing? Maybe I'll grab Pollard. After the ham sandwich, after Bed Bath & Beyond. Got to pick up the kids. Not me. I pull over. Kids screaming. First of all, Pollard wouldn't be on waivers in my league. Fournette, Westside, you better take that, bro. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does Westside take Pollard when he's got Elliott for Fournette? He kind of has to. In a worst case scenario, that means Zeke Elliott comes back and he wastes the Fournette, but this could be a league-winning move. That ham sandwich hits different with flaming hot Doritos. It also hits different if you're eating the sandwich and you're taking a big bite and you look at your email and a message comes up. Tony Pollard was just grabbed because you were making a ham sandwich with Doritos. I would take Tony Pollard if it's me. I'm not like super high on Fournette. He can be very good. He's playoff Lenny in the right circumstances. Fournette can be very, very valuable. But 1 or 2 games from now, you might have people saying, who's Fournette? Like we say, who's Julio Jones? Like it could fall off that quickly. But, Pollard is pretty important. And if you really think about it, Pollard's probably no matter what, even if they say, we're not going to put Zeke on IR or we're not going to rest Zeke Elliott, we'll play him. We'll just dial him back. Pollard, I pretty much, I can't guarantee anything, right? But I pretty much feel ultra confident that Pollard's going to score what Lenny's scoring even if Zeke doesn't sit, because they'll probably dial Zeke back, give Pollard more. I bet you Zeke's 60-40 timeshare split that he could, if Elliott doesn't sit, Pollard might get 60% of the work Zeke get 40 or 70-30. That 65%, whatever it is, let's hit it in the middle. That 65% workload share for Pollard will probably still score what Fournette's scoring. Go get Pollard, in my opinion. But what do I know? Thank you, Westside. I appreciate you, good buddy. And I hope you can figure out something to do with A.J. Brown. I don't think you'd have to find the precise, perfect owner that's only worried about weeks 15, 16, whatever, and say, give me McLaurin. And they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Here you go. Here's McLaurin. Like, you're going to have to run into the most ideal, unlikely scenario where someone's going to take A.J. Brown from you when he's hitting IR. Here, take this broken... Let's see. What do I have that's broken? What do I have that I can break? What do I have that I can break live on the air? Can I break anything? I like everything in here. I don't really want to break anything in my studio. Here! That's like what you're doing. Like, here's A.J. Brown. Wait, hold on. Here! I'll give you this. Give me something new. I'll give you this. You give me something shiny and new. We'll put this over here for later when we have to talk about one of the injured players that's about to probably get injured and hit the news wire right now, because that's what kind of season we're dealing with right now. The injury season. The disappointing season. The season of disappointment where we literally have barely 10 or 12 running back ones anymore. And we have potentially 2 or 3 running back twos. It's like someone raptured all of the running back twos from fantasy football. I'm looking at it right now. It's like Taylor, Cook, McCaffrey, Eckler, Najee, not in any particular order, Chubb, Mixon, Swift, Kamara. That's 9. You have Gibson, J-Rob, Barkley's hurt, Henderson questionable, Zeke hurt, Patterson hurt, Monty mess of a situation, although Monty could turn it around. Monty's one of my better buy low running back twos right now that's very, very cheap. Because once Nagy's stench is removed and steam cleaned from the facility, Monty might go on a tear. You have Connor, Aaron Jones hurt. Like, there are no running back twos. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Break a pencil. Just make another pair of goggles. Where are my goggles? I feel like someone threw my goggles away. Did this place get cleaned without me? Where are my goggles? My Mike White. Maybe I threw them away in anger. My Mike White goggles. Oh, Caleb, 2 flex PPR. I have Eckler, JT, and Jones. My wideouts are Deontay, Mike Williams, and Bateman. Do I trade someone to get better wide receivers? JT, Eckler, and Aaron Jones. I assume that's who you have there as Jones. Deontay, Mike Williams, Bateman. I mean, I'm not trading JT. I'm not trading Eckler unless you're going to get something crazy, an offer you can't refuse. Again, somebody comes to you for Eckler and they say, I'll give you, Jamar Chase and, a running back that's fantastic. Clyde's another one, so that we could talk about that, he's a running back too. I don't know, like Eckler, you'd have to literally get a Jamar Chase and a very solid running back. Like, who would take Jamar Chase and Clyde for Eckler? I don't know if that's enough. So I don't know how you're going to get a wide receiver. Maybe try and get crazy, bro, and trade Deontay and something not that you've named. Maybe you've got a tight end you can spare and pick up one off waivers and roll with a high risk, high reward tight end play or stream tight ends. But Deontay and somebody for, like, I'm trying to get Jamar Chase without touching Eckler or JT. I don't know that Aaron Jones, he's a tough one to value. How about Jamar and Barkley for Eckler? Why do you got to throw Barkley in there? Can't you give me somebody different? Why do you have to go Barkley? Why do you have to go Barkley? Why do you have to go with a player I don't want to own at all? Chase and Barkley for Eckler is interesting. And it ultimately depends on Barkley. And you're either going to lose the trade by this much or win the trade by this much. Chase alone, I believe, will ball out and make that trade closer than people think, although I would draft Eckler over Chase by a lot. I'm just saying Chase is going to do damage, and if Barkley delivers and shows up, you'd be good. But I'm going after a different player. I don't want Barkley. I want Chase and somebody else. I want Chase and a different running back. I want Chase and, Swift, even though he's banged up. I'd rather have him than Barkley. Barkley, I don't trust for anything. So, I mean, explore what two amazing players you can get for Eckler. I probably wouldn't trade JT unless the right offer came along, and let somebody come to you with that. You don't need to be cooking up something like that. That's something that you don't, when somebody comes to you desperate and they overpay for JT, that's the only time you're going to ever run into that. Rate the trade I did yesterday. Received Chase, Pitts, and Scott. Boston Scott traded Ingram, Carter, and Keenan Allen, I suppose. Keenan Allen. I love it. I think you blasted him, bro. I think that's going to get vetoed. And I'd take Chase alone over all that. You got Pitts too. I mean, who'd you trade with? Your grandma? Your grandma, bro? Did you blast your grandma on that trade? Slayer, super chat. Slayer says, AJ Brown, wide receiver 1. Come on. Appreciate you, Slayer. I got JT and Eckler. Then you have two pretty darn good running backs, bro. I also got Eckler, but how did you get JT? Eckler he probably made a trade, but Eckler was second round potential material. You could have got JT and Eckler at the turn, essentially, bro. So that's possible. They were both like end of the first round type material. Thoughts on Ingram and Freeman? I don't have many thoughts on Ingram and Freeman, bro. Freeman's okay. Ingram is on borrowed time if he's even back and healthy. Like right now, he's not even playing. He's hurt. So I don't have much. I don't know why I see everybody talking about Ingram a lot. I don't understand. Like, he's injured. Kamara, I don't anticipate Kamara being out multiple more weeks. I hope he's back. The last word we have on Kamara. By the way, Kareem Hunt's going to play Week 12. We don't really know how much. The last news we had on Alvin Kamara was this little beauty right here. And when I say beauty, I mean this crappy piece of news. I mean, par for the course type of season that we're having here. This is the last news we had on Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara will not play in Week 12 against the Bills. Meanwhile, Mark Ingram is listed as questionable. This is obviously old news. Tony Jones came in and dropped a deuce. And when I say deuce, I mean bad game for the injured Alvin Kamara, who we don't know when is coming back. And we don't know if Ingram's going to play or be healthy himself. So let's stop assuming Ingram's some gem. Let's stop assuming Ingram's some player that can stay healthy. Like he's some young stallion that's going to come in and save the day. Freeman I like a little more, but they're both old dogs. They both could do well one week and do nothing the next week. I like Freeman a little more. I feel like Freeman is going to potentially be used no matter what until he, gets hurt. Kamara is getting shut down, says Jay. Jay, where are you seeing that, though? Because there's just no real report on that. So I know a lot of people are saying that. They're speculating. People are speculating the worst. But I'll even pull up Kamara news right here. There is nothing yet that's suggesting that. Are we worried about it? Sure. Out against the Bills, won't return Thursday. He's been ruled out for the game. Nothing on being shut down, Jay. That is speculation. Could potentially be categorized as fake news. Am I worried about it? Maybe. Can you stop talking about injuries before you jinx the whole entire NFL? Bro, I'm just reporting what's going on because this is what's hitting news wires right now. We can hit the news for the remainder of the show and just see if there's any positive news. Let's go find some positive news. We've got Alex Collins was removed from the Seahawks final injury report. Little round of applause for Alex Collins. We got Homer out. That means Alex Collins might get a touch more. Penny out for week 12. That means Alex Collins is getting all the work. Round of applause for Alex Collins, who's going right into the lineup. Get him to the chopper. Get him to the chopper. Alex Collins in the lineup now. Michael Carter on injured reserve. I'm sorry. It's bad news. I can't help it. I've got to report it. Bradley Chubb, linebacker, Broncos, activated from the injured reserve. There's some good news for you, buddy boy. That's some good news. So you grab Collins off waivers? I would. He's a starting running back with no competition right now. The A.J. Brown news. Logan Thomas is expected to be activated for week 12. I don't know how much run he's going to get. But with Ricky Seals-Jones now doubtful, if you didn't know, that means that Logan Thomas might be forced along a little faster than we thought. Yeah, Ingram cannot. Yeah, Swaggy, I'm in agreement with this. He's no league winner. I'm not. Ingram is going to be hard pressed to get healthy. I mean, could he come in and do some damage? Yeah, maybe. If Kamara gets ruled out, but a lot of ifs going on. Curtis Samuel looking like he'll play week 12. Kareem Hunt activated from injured reserve. Get ready for the Kareem Hunt return. I don't know how much work he'll get. Gronk was removed from the week 12 injury report. This is why I don't believe injury reports anymore. This is why I feel like we are completely misled. We're oftentimes flying blind. It's ridiculous. I don't appreciate it. It's different than it used to be. I've been around a long time, so I'm an old dog. And I get tired of not seeing news reports that reflect reality. We don't get told the truth anymore. You can't possibly tell me Rob Gronkowski isn't on the injury report if you're reporting about the injuries properly. Like he's uninjured. Like he's just in the best health he's ever been in. This guy's always banged up. And his back's always bothering him, but he's not on the injury report. And watch him be questionable at the last second. I'm not saying don't start him. I think Gronk's a pretty good play. As long as he's on the field, he's a touchdown threat. I'm not trying to clown on or throw shade on the man that is Rob Gronkowski, a potential 6 to 10 tight end going forward if on the field. But we can't trust injury reports anymore. We can't trust players. We can't trust Mike Thomas. We know that. Who knows what Mike Thomas is doing right now? Yeah, I'm getting the surgery right now. We're gonna do it the second time. We got it done. We got the right people on the job. I'll be back in maybe May, and I won't talk to you until August. I'll tell you May, but I won't show up till August. When I get there, I will have not had the surgery again. Ha! That's Mike Thomas. That's how we've been treated all offseason. And we get no respect. We don't matter. We don't need the real news. Devontae Adams removed from the Week 12 injury report. There's some good news, if it's true. Peoples-Jones is questionable for Week 12. The poor Browns, man. Falling apart. Last thing we'll do is predict these games, these NFL games. I'm gonna give you my predictions for the remainder of the week. These are my picks. These are Smitty's picks for week number 12. the games that are left for Sunday and Monday. Let's hit the board and do it live. So, Tampa Bay at Indy. This is a good game. But I'm going to go TB. TB 12. New York Jets at Houston. Wow. Wow. I can't believe I just did that. They're both 2-8. What am I talking about? Of course I can believe it. Of course I can believe it. Philadelphia at the New York Giants. Pretty easy call. Carolina at the Miami Dolphins. This one's a little tougher than it seems. But I'm going to go ahead and go Carolina. Tennessee at New England. Without A.J. Brown, I just don't see how they're going to win this game. And New England's playing so good. They're on a roll. That would be almost my survivor pick, to be honest. And that's saying something going against an 8-3 Tennessee Titans team. But I feel like so confident in this game. Pittsburgh at Cincy. This is a tough one for me. But I'm going to say Joe Burrow and the Bengals at home tear it up. And Joey B looks phenomenal in this one. Atlanta at Jacksonville. Wow. It just, some of these games are just like, you want to say, okay, that's an easy call, but they're both, both feeling garbage like. Los Angeles Chargers at Denver. Give me the Chargers. Feel really confident about that one, by the way. The LA Rams at Green Bay. This is a tough one because I do feel like the Rams are being undervalued and completely traded Kittle for AJB earlier in the season when Kittle was hurt. Sorry, pal. This is a tough one because I think that everybody's just assuming a lot with the Rams. Like, oh, the Rams, they fell apart. They lose Woods. They're done. Like, it clearly took a hit, and they haven't, Odell screwed up the rhythm. I think they would have been better off without Odell. Injecting him into the offense just made it sporadic, mistake-driven, mistake-riddled. Like, I don't know if Odell's going to throw things off the entire time, but he clearly did in this game because they rushed him in. Takes wide receivers a long time to gel and learn a playbook and jive with an offense, and they just shove him in like that. I think the Rams are going to bounce back, but I'm going to say the Packers win this one. And I think if A.J. Dillon gets fed, he's going to have 125 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns if he gets fed the football. Minnesota at San Francisco. Believe it or not, San Francisco is not the best at home right now. But this one's going to be tough. I know I think media's in here. I got some San Francisco people watching. This is a tough one. This is going to be... I mean, you're talking about Justin Jefferson. You're talking about Dalvin Cook. You're talking about a lot of offensive weapons. It's really going to be up to the San Francisco defense if they can shut down Minnesota's weapons and lock them down. I think if Cook has a huge day, it's going to be really hard for San Francisco to keep up scoring. I I'm sorry, San Francisco fans. I tried to waver as long as I could. Cleveland at Baltimore. Easy. Cleveland's a mess. Seattle at Washington. This is probably the tougher game for me because both of them are capable of just blowing. Both of them could blow. Just completely blow. How am I drunk, Gary? How am I drunk tonight? How's your usual line correct now? Because last time you said Smitty's drunk, and then we asked you why, and then you said because I didn't have McLaurin as the number one wide receiver going forward. And then we all just completely lost it. And we chuckled. We had a good time. So, Gary, please entertain us one more time. Why am I wrong based on these very arguable on every level predictions here, Gary? Tell me what is making you feel like I'm so off right now so we can get another chuckle as to why you think this right here is ridiculous, Gary. Gary, tell me. San Francisco winning by 40. Thank you, Gary, for making us laugh once again. I appreciate it. They can't score 40, bro. It's not going to be like Jimmy G's doing pretty well, but you're not scoring 40. I just don't see it. If it's 40, if you're scoring 40, then it's going to be a 40 to like 41 game. I know he's a Niner fan, but it's funny when he chooses to use that I've been drinking when in the things that I've been that he thinks I'm off base on are something very arguable, Gary. Jimmy G, the next Tom Brady. Gary, sipping back on Grandpa's old cough medicine a little too long, Gary. Okay, my last pick. This is tough. I think we need Miss Smitty on this one. Hold on. Miss Smitty. Seattle or Washington? Miss Smitty says Washington. So we're going to go with Washington. There you have it. There you have it. Miss Smitty's. This is Miss Smitty's. That is my week 12 rest of games predictions. Don't argue with Miss Smitty, bro. Don't do it, Jason. That's a tough one, though. Washington versus Seattle. But you could easily go either direction. Like, come on. Let's not get a lot of come on now. Come on! You got to use the come on when it's completely unwarranted, and that is unwarranted. The come on. Washington, Seattle. Like you got they're both 3-7 and 4-6. And someone's gonna literally be like, give me a come on. You come on. And they're probably going to tie 0-0, bro. But Alex Collins is a pretty good play. Pretty good play. You got Penny out. You got Homer out. Pretty good play. All right, guys. Why is that a Monday Night Football game? Because they thought Russell Wilson would be on fire. They thought the Washington football team was going to be amazing. They made these decisions a long time ago. Everybody should get a chance to play on Monday night. It happens, bro. DJ Dallas, Zinski, is a good point. Maybe DJ. You know what? Maybe DJ Dallas is the guy. And he is a touchdown threat sometimes. So Zinski brings up a very, very good point. DJ Dallas. Collins, who knows? Very, very good point, Zinski. Gary, a muscle emoji, back at you, bro. And I apparently I'm going to be the fittest man on the planet on Christmas Day, not Thanksgiving. I've been doing well. I've been working out. I've been trimming down a little bit, but I need to work harder. Thanksgiving definitely put on a few lbs last night and the night before. So my new goal date, and I know I keep missing it. It's because of all of you. It's because I'm cranking out content constantly, trying to do my job for you, that I've been dropping the ball, and I haven't gotten completely shredded and ripped. But Christmas Day is the new target date. We're gonna hit it this time. I'm doing my pull-ups. Right now I can do over 10. I couldn't do over 6 when I started a couple weeks ago. I'm back to doing over 10. I'm doing push-ups like mad. I got to run a little more. I got to drop the LBs. I got to cut back on drinking the old Coca-Cola. But we're getting it. We're getting there, getting ripped. Christmas Day, I want to be shredded. When you log on Christmas Day, you're gonna think this is a workout channel. You're gonna come on and go, what is this, a weightlifting show? Look at this guy. He's shredded. Is this a weightlifting show? Is the camera crisp, or is it just my new phone? No, I got a new camera, bro. I'm looking extra crispy today. This is a pretty clean shot, is it not? I like it. I'm really liking the new camera. I missed your super chat. Okay, Johnny, I'm sorry. Johnny, I'm going for it. I'm hunting for it, Johnny. Here we go, Johnny. I got it. Johnny said, start 2 full PPR, 7 and 4. Barkley, Jeff Wilson Jr., A.J. Dillon, Devontae Smith, Waddle. Also top 5 streaming defenses for Week 12. I mean, I could throw some defenses your way. I don't know if I could give you the top 12 or top 5. Because I'll give you a couple ideas. But I'll say, if Jeff Wilson starts, you start Jeff Wilson. If A.J. Dillon looks like he's going to get a healthy dose, you start A.J. Dillon. Barkley's very questionable. We should know a lot more tomorrow, though. So that should help you out. But Barkley's very questionable. He does play in the morning, so you'll be able to make a maneuver if you've got to. You could put Barkley and A.J. Dillon in for now, and then if Barkley doesn't play, you can swap it out for hopefully Jeff Wilson. And Green Bay plays... Green Bay is they're an afternoon game as well, so you definitely have your options open for you. But I would go Dillon and Barkley if Jeff Wilson's not starting, but I would honestly probably start Jeff Wilson over Barkley if A.J. Dillon is looking like the man and Jeff Wilson's looking like the man. Let me see. I got a message here from Miss Smitty. Okay, we got to go. I got to go. Zinski, pick up Westbrook, Tennessee, or Breda. Give me Westbrook. I think Westbrook's a really good pickup. Landon is the camera. Yes, the camera's crispy. Johnny, appreciate you. Zinski, I got you. I took care of everybody. If you asked a super chat question and I didn't get to you, ask me in the comments. I got to end it here. Heading out the door. Appreciate all of you. Sorry about A.J. Brown if you lost him. Get ready for tonight's live stream, midnight Eastern. I'm live, baby.